This is Nataliya Andreychuk, and our favorite Christmas episode of our podcast, Going Through Content Mist. So we have a very experienced and very famous in our industry guest, Krishna Venugopal, who will be talking with me today about how we can stay efficient in the omni-channel world by creating a lot of content. What is his experience? He has a vast experience in CRM industry and CLM industry, and we will be happy to hear of his opinion. Krishna, please tell us about yourself. So, what is your previous experiences? What are you doing today? So, please go ahead.
Hi, Natalia. Thank you for having me, and thanks for this flowery introduction. Yes, we've all been in this space for many years, so we're so familiar with uh, where where the industry has evolved over the times, and as we all know, we are in the best phase of this journey. Right, as you said, I've been operating in the pharma space for over over 15 years, mostly in the commercial space, CRM implementation, dating all the way back to the on-premise solution, and then taking the journey over to the cloud and now AI. Yeah, it's all exciting times.
Exactly. And that's how we have met, and now we are working together on getting our customers the best from our both experiences. And let us think about a little bit how what do you think has changed recently with the approach of AI, with the approach of the new technology in CRM, CLM space. Do we change a lot due to the fact that we have to communicate massively through the omni-channel campaigns? What are the changes? So, what are the changes from your perspective?
That's a great question, and you mentioned the keyword omni-channel. Of course, we use that internally as the professionals in the space, but I don't. I have a feeling that the market, the consumers don't relate to it just yet. I think the biggest impact to messaging has been social media, right? Uh, in personal life and professional life, we've been impacted by it, and the duration, and I what I would say is the attention span. So those have been there's been a major shift. People like to consume in smaller chunks, and just the way social media is training us now, so precise, quick consumption of data is where the world is going towards. And and there's also, I think what's happening is the con- convergence of channels, right? And the handovers from a consumer perspective, it's actually seamless, right? It's like if I'm on one social media content and I'm hearing something, and I move to a web page and hear something in my head, it's just a continuation. I don't see it as different channels, it's just the same messaging. I think that's going to be our biggest challenge, keeping it all kind of tied in. But that's also the opportunity now, right? So that we have many ways to reach our consumer, our target audience.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. This is the opportunity and the challenge whenever we must be heard through the different channels, because we do have our priorities. We want to be addressed personally right now. So, and this is also giving a lot of challenges to provide such seamless omni-channel
Yes.
communication. As a huge challenge, I believe we all remember the old times where we communicated strictly in the chosen channel, and the
Yes.
challenge was to go multi-channel. And even with
Mm.
those, we have been heavily relying on agencies to build the content, at the scale we need to make sure it is working in different CRM types, and the KPIs are delivered to our thousands users. So with all of that change, do you think the the massive amount of content we need to produce right now, does it boost the do-it-yourself approach, or does it give the companies a chance to create their own digital content factories internally to work with this problem, or AI will help us to generate as much content as we need? So, what is your opinion on these three extremes? Do it on your own, rely on number of agencies having the bigger budget, like the very good money, or AI will help us to create it all.
I, I would say all of the above. There are areas uh, where it deserves its commodity, which you can do it your own. There are specialty spaces where you may have to, you're venturing into a new space, a new way of communicating, right? And then the tech is changing so fast, you may want to bring in um, specialists to do certain aspects of that. And AI is always going to be there now. I think in a year from now we will not speak about AI the way we speak today, because it's AI is just going to be in the underlying. Today AI is everywhere, but soon we will, like the way we don't speak about internet anymore, right? It's internet is assumed, connectivity is assumed, right? So AI will be in the fabric of all what you do. Either it could be do it yourself, or if you bring in a specialist to do your function. I think the most the way it reflects to me is what Aristotle used to say. It's so funny how we can go back to a philosopher that many um, generations ago and still relevant. He says, I think his statement goes this way. I'm trying to paraphrase it. It says, excellence is never an accident. It is actually a result of high effort, so high intention, sincere effort, and execution, top-notch execution. So I think that will be the key. It's not how we go, and we can go different. We can pick different options: do it yourself, AI assisted, do it yourself, or bring in a specialist when there is a need. Uh, but I think the key would be is what is governing this decision making? What's that umbrella which kind of keeps it all together?
Exactly. And that's why many of our clients are working on creating their own center of expertise on how to create their communication, how to make it agnostic, how to make the format of the communication of the content like omni-channel, working across the channel, how to make sure like today you have one CRM, another CRM tomorrow, and there might
Hmm.
be different CRM systems in different markets of the very same organizations, but your format of the content is still able to carry all the KPIs you want to carry. So, and this is always a case. So how you keep unlock your content and unlock your potentials as a central I would say operation excellence you are creating for that. So I think we are talking now about this hybrid approach where we are creating the content as a do-it-yourself and having AI as a helper and having agencies, but we want to have an umbrella for all of this. And this means like the ownership must be under the center of excellence, which is like center of excellence is exhausted wording. So maybe kind
Yes.
of a digital factory or a omnichannel factory or campaign factory, whatever factory or the center, but it must
Mm.
be an umbrella, a home for all these agencies, for the people using the content offering tools, for the entire team which is going through the content life cycle. So is this the valid idea in your eyes?
Absolutely. Like I would say, and I like to state this all the time when it comes to efficiency and effectiveness, excellence cannot be outsourced. Excellence cannot be left to chance. So what does that mean? We have to have a very thought through uh, approach to achieving excellence. And the idea of putting putting an organizational setup where everyone is driven to a, a set goal, a set vision, is the way to go, right? Especially in the content space. Like we said, we just talked about channels to begin with, but then there's so many other factors which I'm hoping we will get into, is globalization, localization, right? Targeting customers of different generation, right? Gen Alpha, millennials, right? Baby boomers. So now we have all this intersection of uh, attributes. How do we know what's the most effective way of targeting them? The only way we can only way a lot of companies have actually seen success, not only in the pharma space or life sciences space, but across the various industries, is putting together a very purpose-built organization whose job is only to think this, only to propagate this idea and be the champion and also the checks and balance, right? So yes, center of excellence is an amazing idea. I know, as you said, this word could be overused. It has been used for generations. Uh, but whatever we may call it, I think it needs to be a very determined, focused
Yeah,
organization.
exactly. Exactly. So whatever we have to call the center of excellence, there must be the priority in this, right? There must be a focus. So the focus and priority and the critical, like, do you think it is a critical role of the center of excellence to make sure that the global strategies are adapted locally and really reused by the local markets, because we have right now a lot of challenges. Like globally we can create many campaigns, but like
Hmm.
we can create campaign in US and push it to be used in Japan, and good luck with that, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly. And the other thing, like the modular content, we understand the only way to reuse the content is to cut it to the chunks, to harvest the modules or the content cards out of them, to localize them. But then the use case, the local markets, they need to be somehow receive those. There must be a champion who is helping them to adopt and helping them to localize. Means not just to translate, to localize according to their MLR, to localize according their KPIs, to localize according to all of their system they need to use for the content creation. What is your thinking? This center of excellence we're talking about, like, does it cover all of these difficulties? Is it their job to make sure this is
It
happening?
is absolutely, absolutely. And I think I kind of go back to my management education days. We used to talk about think global, act local, right? And it's so what that means is i- there is there is always going to be pattern in the world of technology and thought process and people alignment, which is going to globally align. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't forget that every local region, area, cities, communities are organized a certain way. So if we ignore that, then the effectiveness of the communication goes down. So this center of excellence is the key to kind of globalize some of the concepts with built-in mechanism so that it can be localized to meet the local communication needs. So it's kind of thought through ahead of time. You're not doing it, okay, I'll create something and then, hey, local, take it and do whatever you want to do with it. No, it's still the framework still exists, and the framework allows for local local modification. And as you said, local can never be in the business of doing this because they're only thinking their market. They're only thinking expanding communication, making the effective communication in their local area. It has to be someone in an umbrella organization which is purpose built to do that, so that one the message, the strategy is still communicated effectively across, no matter where we are talking about, because we are all global organization these days. And two, the local gets all the support they need to receive the latest and greatest trends and tech in timely manner, right? Because we have seen this, as you said, right? Markets are still might be working with old tech because no one is shepherding them, no one is championing them, no one is bringing it to them, and it's tough for local market to kind of look up. It's
Yeah,
easier, right?
exactly. Whether my understanding from the very recent experiences, like we have this understanding that we need to localize, we need to provide. However, how? Because there is a big transformation element in that. Because
Hmm.
whenever you provide something from the global organization to local, so we used to have a centralized content strategy and decentralized. I would really challenge this terminology right now, because even in the very centralized strategy, there are the disruptive, decentralized elements which does not help to call them holistic, centralized. And because this is like the democracy and otherwise
Yes.
comparison. So this is exactly where we are with this centralized and decentralized. But nevertheless, building the central operational organ which will be creating the content for the entire organization, this is a very important task with a big transformation element in this. And this transformation is never affordable for one person sitting centrally to transform in every location. For these, for this, you need a partner. You need to partner, and you need to make a decision that in every location you have a champion. You have a champion who will
Right.
transform and will help you to connect on the local level with your team. So it doesn't mean like you are not connected with your team, but I have met a person recently. She's a beautiful consultant. She was recently moving to a new organization for her, and it was like seems too easy to implement this because she knows what she needs to do. But this culture and the transformation things just eaten everything up, and it is just simply impossible without the outside support to transform this global to local experience, and to make sure there is somebody hand holding, explaining, making sure
Hmm.
that this defending this global piece, and also scoping, taking the requirement, make sure this building a bridge between the need and execution, and then the execution with AI, with the offering, with the agency. It's just like the matter of technique. What do you think about this culture? Because the culture is a great thing right now, culture and transformation. Do you think this is a great, a big role played in the success of such COE organizations? What is your thinking about that?
No, you actually used the word bridge, and another challenge we have today is we hear this all the time is silos, right? So I think this organization, the Center of Excellence, is going to be the key catalyst to break down those silos and build bridges. I think that's critical. Another analogy, and I sometimes I think analogy in ways other industries, other aspects I do, and at the way you said it, kind of resonates with me. Champions, local champions, right? So think of it as say European Union or any government. When they set up, they have a vision for their country and the world. What do? They send ambassadors to every country, right? So that the job of the ambassador is to explain what the vision is, but here is the most important thing. Their job is also to listen to where they are and bring it back up to the center so that the center also evolves, right? So if you take that analogy, I think we should think it that way too. Our center of excellence, or whatever we decide to call them, should have champions locally because they have the ears to the ground. Uh, Put the message out, make sure the mission, the vision is still understood, relevant, and then hear from the market what works, what does not work, and keep communicating back. Uh, because we all know innovation doesn't need to come from the center. Innovation can come from anywhere for that matter. If it's a good idea, it should be consumed and then spread, So open communication, the channels to communicate innovation should be set up, should be actually defined and set up so that people know how to use it.
That's for sure. So because this is how we bring the innovation, right? So we need to communicate, and again communicate. So we need to break the silos. We need to be very culturally close where we want to transform, and we have to bring the innovation. So we have to bring, not innovation doesn't mean always technology, so it means the way of doing things in the
Correct.
new way, right?
Mhm.
So like the last but not least, because we are talking about this innovation and stuff. So what do you think about AI? So whenever we build, like, because in the past we have built just the centers of excellence using the human capacities, the established processes, the established systems like Jira, like with the all these tasks fixed to Power BI, showing the beautiful results of how we have been massively transforming across the organizations. But what will change with the AI? So will AI change anything about that? Yes, I think there's like
It's
something
it's a
about
it's a
that.
right. It's $1 billion question, right? We are all learning as we go. The AI technology is at a breakneck speed. It's growing leaps and bounds, and and collectively as human beings, we are trying to make the best use of it, right? And at the same time, we are all also uh, putting our effort into making sure the the security aspects of it, the privacy aspects of it. So it's a combination of many things happening in the AI world. If I want to oversimplify it, I see AI is just another team member So for now, so who is you can see AI as your peer who has information, who would provide information, like in a conference call. We'll join in. It's like someone has an idea, they put it out. AI is that. And then you make use of that information to the best. And at the end of the day, it's we humans, we have to take that info and execute on it if it is appropriate, or do the execution appropriately. So if I want to, taking all the tech away, you had made a point earlier. It's like we cannot bring. It's very difficult to build a massive COE organization with a lot of people, because if it's 100 country implementation, the large pharma, where am I going to find all these people sitting where? You don't have to. I think that's the beauty of it. You can have less number of people now that AI is your colleague, AI is your peer. You could actually do the work with less resources. And I think that's how I see AI now.
Definitely, I wouldn't just replace all the people, but I do agree with the point that we will need less people probably. But that's the how we would, with AI we will cover entire hundreds of markets with the global organizations, where we will be having AI as the colleague, but really under the human supervision, so that
Yes.
helping, accelerating, and making sure like we are using the global ideas locally, with the local accents and localized, of course. So that's a beautiful conversation, because building COE centers is never easy. So there's a lot of resources, a lot of manpower needed, a lot of efforts, and a lot of experience. So to make sure like there's like no mistakes, or some mistakes could be avoided, right? So there always must be kind of the template. Do you believe that there is such kind of things, that somebody could teach organization how to build an COE center? Is this kind of thing the organization could figure out without outsource it, without just being taught how it will be done?
Uh, yes. Yeah, yes, it says I've been in various organizations doing cutting edge stuff, right? May that be as organizational setup or adopting new technology. I think it can be taught, but I think the two aspect to it is company culture of how much what is risk, and what is the definition of risk, right? And what happens when someone takes a risk and fails, right? And the company culture, it's important, especially when we are talking about AI. It's mostly experimentation now. Well, by that, what I mean is there's so many buzzwords, there's so many flashy applications coming out on a daily basis. Now, how do I know when to look at something and when not to look at something, right? And that the only way it can happen is the center of excellence should also become your R&D unit. So there is one group of people who are just looking forward, right? Looking ahead and looking at all these trends, experimenting with it. And once that kind of, and no different than what we do in the pharma drug development, right? We do experimentation. We have researchers exactly for that. So if we have center of excellence built in with researchers who can bring back ideas after experimentation, and this is what I've been taught by my mentors in my early life, and it stayed with me all the while. The term "fail fast." So you should not fear failure, because that's the only way we can grow, because we are trying something new. But you should learn to fail fast. That is, accept that something is not working quicker, so that you can go to the next idea and the next idea and the next idea till you land on the best one which suits you to move forward. So there's bit of mix of cultural change and giving people the autonomy and little bit of empowerment. And if you do that, you can actually increase innovative ideas output faster.
Excellent, excellent answer. So I couldn't agree more. So there is like a way to implement that, to experiment, to pilot, to make sure we are not afraid of getting, getting failed in something, because we also have a chance to succeed in something. So
Right.
I'm so much grateful you shared this half an hour with me talking about such an important topic, about transformation of big global pharma organizations, and how it's difficult or easy to build the centers of excellence. So that's a huge topic, and thank you for giving your ideas and giving your time. I hope our audience will be having questions and interested in the continuations of such talk. So it's a Christmas time, so I need to say, and I want to say, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everything good to you and to your families, and see you in the next episodes. So thank you and wish you all the best. Bye.